You ever have one of those days where you feel like you're just going through the motions? You're not sad, you're not happy, you're just kind of there? Well, today we're going to dive deep into a really personal account of what that's like when your mind really disconnects from your body and the pretty startling wake-up call that can come with it. Let's get into it. It starts with this sentence. And man, this just perfectly captures that unsettling feeling at the very heart of this story, doesn't it? It's not some loud, dramatic crisis. It's this quiet, nagging feeling that a really fundamental piece of being human is just gone. So the way the speaker describes this state, it's not a storm, it's a fog. It's this kind of emotional flatness where the world just seems to be happening around you, but you're not really a part of it. Let's actually break down what that feels like. And what's so interesting here is that these aren't the classic signs of depression we always hear about. We're talking about an inability to react to anything, a total lack of strong feelings, and this deep, deep exhaustion from your own thoughts. It's a state where your mind is just so desperate to get away from the now that it literally floats away. And this is where that drifting leads to the real problem. A serious disconnect where your mind is off in another universe, leaving your body to run on autopilot. And as you're about to see, that can be incredibly dangerous. That's her own description. And it's just chilling. Can you imagine that? Your mind is miles away, just thinking about nothing in particular, while your body is still moving, still interacting with the world. The two just are not in sync at all. The speaker actually uses a specific Russian word for this feeling, razroznena. It's such a perfect word for it. It really captures that sense of being internally scattered, fragmented, like you're being pulled apart from the inside. It's way more than just being distracted. It feels like you're disintegrating. And this really shows you that split. On one side, you've got the mind just wandering, totally neutral, completely detached from what's happening. And on the other side, you have the body, just acting automatically with no conscious input, and sometimes completely illogically. It really is like there's a ghost in the machine. And let's be super clear, for the person going through this, it is terrifying. It's this profound loss of control, this feeling that you aren't actually the one flying the plane anymore. Okay, so this abstract internal fear is about to become very, very real. The story takes a sharp turn right here, when this disconnect leads to a moment of actual, physical, life-threatening danger. Yeah, she learns firsthand that when your mind isn't present to guide your body, the consequences can be really, really severe. This isn't just an emotional thing anymore. It's about survival. And there it is, the wake-up call. Totally lost in thought, completely numb and disconnected. Her body just started walking into traffic. A completely mindless action that could have been the end. The really crucial thing to understand here is that this didn't happen because she was panicked or stressed out. No, it was the exact opposite. It happened because of a total absence of any emotional signals. Her mind was so calm, so neutral, so far away, that it didn't even register the most basic danger signal right in front of her. So that frightening moment, it becomes a huge turning point. Instead of trying to fight the feeling or spiraling into panic, her own consciousness kind of gives her a new game plan, a strategy based on acceptance and just observation. So what do you do, right? When your mind is just adrift and you feel like you're losing that grip, how do you find an anchor? Well, her own internal voice comes up with a pretty surprising answer. Honestly, this strategy is kind of counterintuitive. It's not about trying to force yourself to focus. It's about letting go of the need to control every single thought, stepping back to become more of an observer in your own life, and then narrowing your focus down to only the absolute essentials. And what are those essentials? Well, they're the absolute bedrock of survival. Health, safety, basic needs. That's it. In this state of complete overload and disconnect, her mind just decides to stop worrying about anything beyond those three pillars. This basically becomes her new mantra. It's this huge shift from being an anxious participant who's just constantly chewing on thoughts to becoming a calm spectator. It's this radical act of surrendering control in order to get a different, more stable kind of control back. So, with this new strategy in her back pocket, what does the future actually look like? Well, it's not a magic fix. It's a conscious, ongoing process of learning how to manage this state of being. And she's super realistic about it. She totally acknowledges that this mental shift, this whole letting go thing, is incredibly hard. I mean, it goes against every instinct to worry and analyze and control. But, she says, it is possible. And this is where her story leaves us. It's not a perfect, happy ending. It's about a quiet determination. There's this tentative hope for success, and then it's followed by maybe the simplest, most powerful statement of resilience there is. And we live on. Hearing this story really forces you to ask yourself, in a world that is just full of constant distractions, how often do our own minds drift away? And maybe more importantly, do we even notice it before we step out on a red light? It's a powerful thought and a good reminder to try and stay connected right here in the now.